Alpine hired Flavio Briatore, the former team leader, to a senior role inside the company's F1 division, reuniting the Italian with Enstone. Following weeks of speculation, Alpine revealed that the 74-year-old Italian Flavio Briatore will return to F1 as an executive advisor to Renault Group CEO Luca De Meo, with a focus on the company's Formula One operations. Although a controversial recruitment, Flavio Briatore appears to be fitting in fast, as he was seen swapping phone numbers with Carlos Sainz Sr. during the Spanish Grand Prix. Could it be that Alpine brought in Briatore to swoop the Carlos Sainz deal? A return to Enstone might be a tempting last-minute change of heart for Carlos Sainz, with a clear choice between Williams and Sauber Audi expected over the upcoming weeks. But Alpine seems to think otherwise. On Sunday, Carlos Sainz Sr., the Ferrari driver's father and a racing star in his own right because to his continued rallying achievements, was observed in the paddock talking with Flavio Briatore. The two were spotted presumably trading phone numbers, sparking rumours that Alpine may yet sign Sainz for 2025, since the two parties remain in talks. Briatore, who returned to F1 with Alpine after his lifelong ban was lifted, has been named executive advisor to Renault Group CEO Luca De Meo. His responsibilities will include advising De Meo on strategic decisions, as well as sharing his knowledge of the driver market. Alpine has at least one race spot open for 2025, with Esteban Ocon confirmed to be departing the team for pastures new, while Pierre Gasly is expected to be retained, though this has not yet been confirmed. Sainz disclosed last week that he has had contract offers from every team with a free cockpit for next year, making him the hottest possibility on the driver market after Ferrari decided to sign Lewis Hamilton in his place. With Williams and Sauber Audi the leading contenders for Sainz's signature, the rapid improvement of the Enstone-based squad in recent races, combined with Briatore's signing as De Meo attempts to lead Alpine forward, could have made the team a very appealing prospect to Sainz as he approaches a decision point. Alpine is no stranger to collecting points, having finished 9th and 10th in Spain, while neither Williams nor Sauber Audi did. Williams has 2 points from Alex Albon's 9th in Monaco, while Sauber has yet to score a point this season. Briatore's hiring is expected to prompt the Alpine squad to take immediate action, since the Italian was known for making deals happen during his previous time in the sport. Briatore won a legal battle to secure Michael Schumacher's services in 1991, and the German went on to win 2 drivers' championships in 1994 and 1995, while he ruthlessly dropped Jarno Trulli during the 2004 season when he felt the Italian was no longer performing to standard. As for Sainz, he is keen to make a choice on his future as soon as possible, and with his 2025 choices broadened to include Alpine, Carlos Sainz thinks his 2025 team could be disclosed before the following race in Austria. Sainz has spent the previous 6 months reflecting about his Formula One future after being pushed out of Ferrari's 2025 lineup in favour of Lewis Hamilton. However, although most of the talk began with who Sainz wanted to join, it has since shifted to who wants him and who still has seats available. Despite winning this year's Australian Grand Prix, Sainz is mostly considering Williams and Sauber for his 2025 possibilities, at least until Alpine entered the fray. Sainz's choices grew from 2 to 3 following Esteban Ocon's confirmed departure after the Monaco Grand Prix, despite the team claims it had nothing to do with it. According to sources, the Spaniard is examining all 3 alternatives, Williams, Audi and Alpine, and intends to make a decision about his future shortly. It could be before Austria, not sure, but it could be, he said following the Spanish Grand Prix. That follows his pre-Spanish GP statement that he was tired of being in limbo and wanted a resolution. I think it's getting to a point where it's taking space out of my head for quite a few weeks and months now, he said in the build-up to the Spanish race. It's time to make a decision, and the decision will be taken soon. Hopefully soon we will have things to talk about. Soon, however, did not imply a pre-Austrian GP announcement at the time. Sainz is now weighing his choices, and none of them, at least on paper, stand out. Sauber Audi will be a works team in 2026 with all new engine rules, but will they do it right the first time with the power unit? Williams has a Mercedes engine for the new regulations, but can they perfect the chassis? And Alpine? Will they even be a works team by 2026, or, as previously predicted, a Mercedes customer? Sainz has to know the answers to all of these questions before signing on the dotted line. And if Sainz decides to go elsewhere than Alpine, they already have a plan B, as Alpine has announced that Mick Schumacher will test in an older F1 car, with reserve driver Jack Doohan also scheduled to participate in the shootout. The Enstone-based team plans to examine 2 drivers in a same-day test at Paul Ricard next week. Alpine's current reserve driver, Jack Doohan, as well as Mercedes junior Mick Schumacher, will be at the French track. The German driver has a tight relationship with Alpine because he now races for the brand in the World Endurance Championship. The identity of Alpine's driver lineup is currently one of the most talked about in Formula One, with Carlos Sainz emerging as a possibility for a place with the team after his father was seen deep in conversation with new Alpine executive advisor Flavio Briatore. The 74-year-old Italian has returned to the team he formerly led in the 1990s and 2000s. Prior to his lifelong exile from Formula One for his role in the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix Crashgate scheme. Briatore, whose job includes advising on movements in the driver market, has suggested Pierre Gasly is likely to retain on, if he wants to, after complimenting the French driver's driving by telling Canal+ Gasly is doing his job well, and the team might put a young driver next to him, before muddying the waters by adding, or even an older one. While Gasly is expected to be retained by Alpine, there are reports that he is not guaranteed to stay at the Enstone-based team, as the Frenchman is also on the list of newcomers Audi boss Andrea Seidl is considering for his team if Sainz decides to decline, a possibility that appears to be growing by the day. Alpine has 2 alternative options: current reserve driver Jack Doohan and endurance racer Mick Schumacher, both of whom are scheduled to participate in a day's teasing of a previous car, TPC, on July 3rd. TPC regulations allow for such private tests to be conducted using cars that are at least 2 years old, in addition to the official testing plan for current cars and Pirelli's own tyre testing program. Doohan is an obvious possibility for the slot, having sat out the racing season to focus on his duties as Alpine's backup driver. Schumacher, who races in the WEC in the #36A 424 LMDH Alpine Hypercar program, was let go by Haas after the F1 2022 season and has since sought refuge elsewhere. He is now a Mercedes F1 reserve alongside his Alpine duties, but has not been seriously linked with the cockpit left vacant at Mercedes by Lewis Hamilton for 2025. Alpine confirmed the test in a statement saying, "As part of our TPC, testing of previous cars program, we will test reserve driver Jack Doohan in line with his 2024 schedule, as well as Mick Schumacher as part of his Alpine Endurance project next week at Circuit Paul Ricard. We look forward to continuing to use our race support team and the A522 Formula One car during our TPC program." Set to compete in the shootout to impress Alpine's top brass, Doohan and Schumacher are not the only options available to the team, but they have a decent chance to make a strong case for themselves with a great performance at Paul Ricard. After all, if Gasly moves on, he has been connected with the second Audi seat alongside Nico Hülkenberg, their chances of getting picked up for a racing seat increase dramatically. But Red Bull youngster Liam Lawson is also a contender for the Sauber Audi drive, which means he could also be of interest to Alpine. Sauber has an opening in 2025, when current Haas driver Nico Hülkenberg will join the team ahead of its rebranding to Audi in 2026. With Sainz still a possibility since he has still to announce his plans following his departure from Ferrari, Alpine's decision between Schumacher and Doohan after the Paul Ricard shootout is far from certain. What do you think? Could Briatore pull of a late move for Sainz, bringing him back to the team that took him in when he left the junior Red Bull team almost a decade ago? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.